Hi, and thanks for dropping by. I just wanted to say a couple of words about why the UK no longer has its major domestic airline, Flybe, as of now. So this airline has been transporting, I believe, up to maybe 50% or half of the United Kingdom's business passengers, okay, domestically. So if you have accurate figures, please put them in the notes below. Thank you very much. So why don't we have Flybe anymore in the UK, an iconic airline? And why, God forbid, are we putting maybe 2,500 people out on the street? Why is that? And I think of three things. Number one, it's related to Brexit. The United Kingdom has been trying to leave the European Union for over 3 years now, but there's been a big argument about whether we should have democracy or not. While that's been going on, business has been crashing, people's travel plans have been cancelled. Terrible for airlines, okay? And if you believe in Project Fear, and Project Fear is reputed to be a United Kingdom government initiative to make people scared to death of the UK leaving the European Union, so that you won't leave the European Union, okay? So if you refuse to give Flybe loans for a number of years so that it goes bankrupt, it seems like clear proof that leaving the European Union is suicide, okay? Because the major domestic airline has now gone bankrupt because of a Brexit, which had not happened until a month ago, okay? In an ancillary way to Brexit, of course, the matter of currency. When you cannot decide what the word leave means, or when you cannot speak your own language, your currency may be declining and it may be devalued, okay, very clearly. When you have a devalued currency, it could be very bad news for an airline, which has to buy all kinds of goods and services in foreign currencies, in particular fuel in dollars perhaps. Point two, flight shaming. Now, in the UK and in the EU, and perhaps predominantly in the English-speaking world at large, we have something called flight shaming. Now, what is that? This is when the media and when your friends treat you, like maybe you're almost like a murderer or something. You're a terrible person because you are taking an airplane to go to your business meeting or to go on holiday or whatever it is, okay? So why do we have flight shaming? Firstly, have a look at the fact that you are getting 80 miles per gallon per passenger in any modern type of aircraft, okay? And the type of aircraft being flown by Flybe are extremely economical. You're getting 80 miles per gallon in your plane as a passenger per person, but you're getting less than 20 miles per gallon in your car in traffic gridlock in the United Kingdom, right? Are you even getting 15 miles per gallon? I don't know. So think about, why do we have flight shaming, but we don't have car shaming? That seems to be highly perplexing, right? So have a look also. This week, the Swedish girl Greta Thunberg was in Bristol, United Kingdom, a beautiful city in the south of England in the United Kingdom. And apart from trampling, 30,000 people who attended her rally trampled and wrecked a very large, beautiful green space in Bristol city centre. She also celebrated, while she was there, she celebrated the fact that Bristol Airport is not allowed to expand, okay? And everybody cheered that. So have a think about who doesn't want you to fly, okay? And why the European Union wants to be Greta Thunberg's buddy, but Greta Thunberg doesn't want to shake the hand of the EU, okay? As flying becomes more highly taxed and the domain of the rich and powerful only. Point number three, the coronavirus. The coronavirus, God forbid, the Grim Reaper is coming for all of us soon enough. The coronavirus is a fiction in terms of its media portrayal, predominantly through Western media, okay? No one is dying of coronavirus who is not immunodepressive, God forbid. So, hundreds of thousands of people dying from the flu, from the common cold, one suicide every 40 seconds. It's probably more dangerous to sit in your bath than it is to get the coronavirus. However, lockdown of China's economy, tear China's economy to shreds, that impacts on the whole world because China is connected to the whole world, so massive economic downturn, impact on travel, and then also lock down every kind of event and travel throughout the Western world, right? Because of something called coronavirus, and there are many coronaviruses existing. So therefore, we're in a state of total fear here in Southeast Asia. Total fear about coronavirus. Though economically, it's a total disaster. Last point, decline management. Okay, it's absolutely not okay at all to put the employees of Flybe out, to allow Flybe to go bankrupt, to cancel all those connections and business meetings and economic activity, all those employees, all of those flight crew and ground staff who have fantastic skills and a lot of experience. This is decline management, okay? This is just absolutely typical of UK and European Union policy. The entire world does not look up to decline management. They don't respect you for it at all. They don't buy political correctness, which is the EU and the UK's major global export now. They don't even have 5 seconds for political correctness. All they care about is economic development and cooperation that you're doing, and global security, which is highly connected to global economy, of course. Meanwhile, when you have a reputation which is just going downhill extremely quickly, then you are heading towards the end of Western civilization, where you are not providing economic leadership, you're providing economic decline, and you are not providing any form of thought leadership or best practices. You have become ridiculous in the eyes of the world, okay? And your civilization is not going anywhere. It's on a one-way street to nowhere. It's going into oblivion. It's the end when you do this. And those countries that are waiting to eat you eagerly because they feel like they're still somehow connected to a desire to live, those countries that are going to eat you up are not going to be giving you refugee status. Thank you very much. Oh, just 2 very salient points about the planes. Number 1, it's kind of a flat earth type of belief to believe that the planes are going along there, struggling to maintain their altitude, guzzling a load of fuel the whole time. That's completely not the case. You've seen birds, right? Birds actually defy gravity, right? So when the plane is going along, flying along up there, it's basically gliding, right? It requires some thrust in order to maintain its altitude. But that thrust that's required to maintain its altitude is relatively economical because it's gliding on the air. It's nothing like a car, which is, bumbling along the road. Point number 2, when you see the planes which have vortices around the wings, you see them coming into land, the air is spinning on the wings. There's a whole lot of air going nuts around the wings in vortices. It's not pollution, it's air, particularly in a country like the UK, which is very wet and humid, and you can see the air vortices, which are turbulence around the plane and around the wings, of course, in particular. And the other point, when you have the plane at very high altitude and you see the vapor trails coming out of the plane, you can see 2 white trails coming out of the plane. Typically, when it's at high altitude, you can see it from the ground, and it's water vapor, which is why you can see it. You can see it because it's water vapor. It is not like a witch-burning type mentality about dumping fuel. No one is dumping fuel, right? Except in very rare emergency cases where there are weight issues. In emergency cases, no one is dumping anything. Thank you very much indeed.